A very good evening and a warm welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Maria Vijayaratna. Let's have a look at the headlines first. International tourism is on right tracks, the World Tourism Organization says. 5 local banks are penalized by the Financial Intelligence Unit. News in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that Asian-African region should be responsible of ensuring that great power rivalry conflicts does not spill over into the Indian Ocean. The president said that at the 50th anniversary of the Bandar Naik International Memorial Conference Hall in Colombo on Wednesday.
Indian Ocean, the geopolitics of the Indian Ocean is quite different from Asia Pacific. We haven't got the hub and spoke system of the Asia Pacific or the quasi-alliances that go on there. As far as we are concerned, we have been free of the great power rivalry so far. We should not allow that to come into the Indian Ocean. Already we have around the Horn of Africa a number of military bases. They came in when piracy was at its height, and as far as Sri Lanka is concerned, we are of the view that they should work with the African Union, which is responsible for the regional security of the African continent. So we have first the Bandung Principles and the Panchasila. Secondly, the ASEAN outlook, especially the distinct nature of the two oceans. And therefore, when it comes to the Indian Ocean, to ensure that we are not involved in great power rivalry, we should go back to the Indian Ocean peace zone concept, that we should not have great power presence in the context of rivalry. So if you have these three principles, then Sri Lanka can certainly navigate its way through and work with all other countries in the Indo-Pacific, in the BRI, in the RCEP, to ensure that stability is maintained in the Indo-Pacific.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe has instructed the relevant officials to amend the existing ordinances regarding lands in order to suit the current development requirements of the country. President has issued these instructions during a discussion held at the Presidential Secretariat on Wednesday. The meeting commenced focusing on amending the provisions of the Ordinance of Land Management Institutions and on introducing new regulations. The President said that the ordinances brought into effect in past times are not in line with the development needs of the time. It was also discussed at length about the preparation of a new national land policy in providing land for development activities. The President told the officials to resolve the issues of the lands under the provincial councils through a new land commission. The President instructed the officers to identify the details of the landowners in the Grama Niladhari divisions. He also instructed to gather information on the amount of lands which are currently well utilized and not being adequately utilized and prepare a report on them at the divisional secretariat levels. President Ranil Wickremesinghe informed the officers to take steps to redistribute to the public the lands which are acquired for government purposes but not yet been properly utilized. The President also instructed, when acquiring lands for government purposes in the future, to pay market value to the respective lands. The President further instructed to take steps to fill the vacancies in the survey and valuation departments promptly in order to avoid any delay of work in those departments. Transport and Highways Minister Bandulu Gunawardena said that electric three-wheelers will accelerate the country's economic recovery process as well as benefit individual operators. He said that this launch of the project to convert 500,000 three-wheelers to electric vehicles done in partnership with the United Nations Development Programme. It has been globally identified that with the prevailing socio-economic crisis, a shift towards adopting sustainable mobility approaches as a necessity for a green recovery process. The UNDP, along with the respective authorities, are working towards mainstreaming e-mobility through the conversion of 500,000 three-wheelers to electric vehicles or e-tuk-tuks over a 5-year period. The project aims in enhancing mobility as a driver of low-carbon, inclusive and equitable development pathway within Sri Lanka. The incubation phase will support the conversion of 200 petrol three-wheelers to electric three-wheelers. To be qualified, the age of the three-wheeler should not be greater than 10 years from the date of manufacture. Other criteria relating to the qualification process are that it should have a petrol 4-stroke engine, while parties from Makumbara and Peta will only be eligible in the incubation phase. It was mentioned that priority will be given to applicants whose livelihood is dependent on a single three-wheeler. The UNDP is reported to cover the full cost of conversion in the initial phase to support the revival of informal sector economic activities to inject currency into the local economy. Stay tuned, we'll be right back after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. The Colombo Stock Exchange and the University of Moratuwa signed a memorandum of understanding to promote capital market education among undergraduate students. These agreements were signed at the University of Moratuwa premises recently. The Memorandum of Understanding serves to formalize collaborative efforts to improve financial literacy among undergraduates in Sri Lanka. The CEO of the Colombo Stock Exchange said that university undergraduates are a crucial segment to the economy, hence it's key to promote financial literacy among them. Vice Chancellor, University of Moratuwa, in his address said it will be an excellent opportunity to collaborate on projects with more industrial partners. The collaboration is to proceed with a number of mutually beneficial strategic initiatives. Accordingly, the initiative would offer practical educational training and internship opportunities with the CSC for students of the University of Moratuwa. The initiative is focused on students who are engaged in accountancy and finance, business management and economics related degree programs in the university. The CSC will also grant an award to the student who obtains the highest value in the grade point average in the financial management specialization program of the university. Furthermore, the University of Moratuwa will also collaborate with the CSC by providing the Advanced Diploma in Financial Markets as a course in the university. The United Nations World Tourism Organization said that international tourism is well on its way to returning the pre-pandemic levels in the first quarter of 2023. The organization made this statement citing its World Tourism Second Barometer report released recently. The report shows that overall international arrivals reached 80% of pre-pandemic levels in the first quarter of 2023. It was stated that an estimated amount of 235 million tourists traveled internationally in the first 3 months, which is more than double the same period of 2022. According to the report, Asia and the Pacific specifically accelerated its recovery with 54% of pre-pandemic levels. It is also said that this upward trend is set to accelerate in the region now that most destinations, particularly China, have reopened. The Middle East saw the strongest performance as the only region exceeding 2019 arrivals by plus 15%, and it was the first to recover pre-pandemic numbers in a full quarter. Europe reached 90% of pre-pandemic levels driven by strong inter-regional demand, while Africa reached 88% and the Americas about 85% of 2019 levels. International tourism receipts grew back to the hit $1 trillion mark, while international visitor spending reached 64% of pre-pandemic. The report also mentioned that uncertainty derived from the Russian aggression against Ukraine and other mounting geopolitical tensions might continue to represent downside risk for the industry. The Financial Intelligence Unit has imposed a combined fine of 5.5 million rupees on 6 banks for non-compliance with the provisions of the Financial Transactions Reporting Act. This information was mentioned in a statement issued by the Financial Intelligence Unit recently. The Financial Intelligence Unit is the organization responsible for regulating anti-money laundering and countering the financing activities of terrorism. The banks which were subjected to the fine were Pradeshia Sanvardhana Bank, HDFC Bank, Ceylon Bank, Sampath Bank, Hatton National Bank and the People's Bank. Accordingly, Pradeshia Sanvardhana Bank was imposed a fine of 500,000 rupees, citing a failure to adhere to the customer due diligence rules in pawning auction buyers. The HDFC Bank and Ceylon Bank were each imposed a fine of 1 million rupees on the 21st of February for failing to comply with Financial Transactions Reporting Act and CDD rules in relation to sanction screening and reporting financial activities. Sampath Bank, Hatton National Bank and the People's Bank were also imposed a fine of 1 million rupees each on the 23rd of February. The administrative penalty for those 3 banks were imposed for the failure to comply with the FTRA and CDD rules in relation to conducting proper ongoing CDD and reporting to suspicious transactions. The unit said that the money collected as penalties were credited to the consolidated fund. Stay tuned, we'll be right back with the stock updates. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 22.08 points to close at 8,927.74 and the S&P SL20 dropped 16.02 points to close at 2,587.89. The turnover was 0.7 billion rupees and over 94 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex rates. That's all we have for tonight. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Have a great weekend. Take care. Good night.